Hello again from Plant Review. Today, 15th of April, I just finished a video about the Clematis Pixie and I thought to make another video about some narcissi and daffodils that are now in bloom in the garden. Well, the new bloomings, as you can see, are still many of the daffodils I presented in the previous video still in flower. Some of them are fading now. However, let's go back to business and discuss about the new narcissi are in flower now in the garden. The first one is probably the most fragrant currently in bloom, and that's the golden dawn. The golden dawn is a plant that is about 40 centimeters tall. As you can see, bare per stem, many flowers between 6 and 8 in my pot, and possibly bigger plants, bigger bulbs can lead more flowers per stem. The fragrance is quite strong, very sweet, freesia-like, I would say, with notes of vanilla as well. However, it's not overpowering, is more freesia-like. And the color of the flower, petals and sepals are yellow, kind of lemon yellow, while the cup is bright orange. This is definitely a narcissus that I would recommend to grow in the garden, in the front part of the border, because, well, the front middle part of the border is a medium-sized plant, as you can see, so it stands pretty well width around, and the color is absolutely easily noticeable in a garden, as well as the fragrance. Here we have instead a split corona narcissus. This one is the Professor Einstein. Professor Einstein is a bright orange capped daffodil with white petals. Doesn't smell very much. The fragrance is very subtle. This is the first bloom I have. As a plant is about about 40 centimeters tall as well. I'm not too sure if it becomes even bigger because I have it in a pretty shallow pot. However, again, this is a daffodil that you can easily plant in the garden. It's absolutely not small at all, and can withstand easily widths around. The flowers are quite big, are about 7-8 centimeters, 7-8 centimeters in diameter, and the color, especially the color of the corona, is very nice. As you can see, it's bright yellow with the orange border. Here I proceed with another variety, that's a triandrous variety. It's called the Narcissus thalia. It's a very elegant flower with very white petals, sepals and cup, with a very slight hint of the green at the base of the flower. The fragrance is very subtle. It's absolutely amazing. It really smells like, I would say, like freshly cleaned washing, like clothes just washed with a very nice detergent in the washing machine. The fragrance is quite subtle, and so it's not really, you need to stick your nose in the flower to smell it, but it's very nice. And I think this is probably the most elegant narcissus I have in the garden. The flowers are about 4-5 centimeters in diameter. They are born in spikes of about 3-4 on my plants, and again, it's a plant that is about 40 centimeters tall. Here I have another narcissus, another yellow flowered, yellow small flower narcissus. Is called the Cocopelli. the cocopelli. That's, yeah, I would say is a medium fragrance, not very intense. Bright yellow flowers all over. So both petals, sepals and crown. It's about, again, they're actually all about the same size as a plant. Yeah, the flowers stand at about 40 centimeters tall, as you can see. Flowers pretty small, about the same size of the golden dome, but definitely not as intensely fragrant. It is a narcissus. If you like bright yellow flower, obviously it's very nice to have in the garden, but if you like fragrance, definitely at the moment I would rather recommend the golden dawn as much more fragrant flowers. Here we have other two narcissus, again about 40-45 centimeters tall. This is the sweet love. Sweet love, the flowers are about 4 centimeters wide. A very, very subtle fragrance. The fragrance is like, yeah, this is like definitely a vanilla scented flower. The flower is white on petals and sepals with a cream. Second to put it here, yeah. Yeah, with a cream yellow cap. Fragrance, yeah, the vanilla like is very nice. However, as I said, is not very strong. So again, if you like mild fragrances, this is actually a great narcissus to have. But if you want something in the garden, you can actually smell from quite a distance. Again, the golden dawn is much better as a choice. Here we have another mildly fragrant narcissus, the prom dance. Provence is the tallest narcissus I have in flower at the moment. It's about 45 centimeters tall, and the flower are a bit unusual for a fragrant narcissus. You can see they have actually a split corona. The corona, yeah, the split cap. The corona is yellow, like a pale yellow. And the petals are ivory white, so the contrast between the two is very subtle. The fragrance is very the fragrance, I would say, is quite floral. I don't detect any really characteristic fragrance, but again it's very subtle, very mild. So this is a plant probably, well, if you like pastel colors, it's a great plant, but if you like intense colors or intense fragrances, definitely I would not recommend this one, even if the flowers are as you can see quite nice, quite peculiar for a fragrant daffodil. Here we have a small daffodil instead. This is called the Hawera. Hawera is a daffodils that I can't detect really any fragrance. The flowers are kind of lemon yellow, very small. They're about 3 centimeters tall. Well, sorry, 3 centimeters wide. They are born in clusters of about 5, yeah, 5-6 on my plants. I couldn't detect any smell. The flower also, the plant also is quite small. It's about 20-25 centimeters tall. So I think in a pot will work great. Or if you want to put it in a border where you're able to weed it properly. However, this is definitely one of my less favorite narcissi I have in the garden. Going on, we have now a definitely fragrant narcissus instead. This is the geranium. The geranium is a very, very clear, very, well, not incredibly strong fragrance, but I would say at least a medium strength fragrance. I like very much the color of this narcissus. The flowers, well, vary quite a bit in size. This one is almost 5 centimeters in diameter. This one might be probably 3.5 centimeters. However, the color, as you can see, is quite strong, very bright orange, contrasting with almost a pure white, actually, sepals and sepals, petals and sepals. The fragrance is kind of a floral with a hint of spicy, peppery fragrance. Again, mild, yeah, I would say mild fragrance. You can actually smell it from at least 5-10 centimeters distance. You don't need really necessarily to stick your nose in the flower. This is a plant about 30 centimeters tall, yeah, 30-35, and considering, well, the brightness of the flower and the size of the flower, this is definitely better. It's still pretty small, definitely better than the Hawera if you want to put it in a garden. Well, I will continue now with the other few more narcissus in flower at the moment. This one is the pipit. The pipit is definitely a mildly fragrant narcissus. It smells of the smell is very difficult to compare. Probably I would say the smell is quite comparable to the alyssum, to the alyssum flower. It's very nice, kind of sweet, and is the flower is about 3-4 centimeters in diameter, with it's almost striped. It has yellow that is more intense in the border of the petals, and paler in the center of the petals and sepals. The corona is a very pale yellow, as you can see, when the flower is mature, but when it's not mature, when it's still quite young, the flower look yellow all over. This plant is about 30 centimeters tall, so it's a bit smaller than the golden dawn. Still, however, I think it makes a suitable plant for the garden. Here we have the Narcissus Kimmeridge. This is a Narcissus I couldn't detect any fragrance, and the flowers are white with, well, the crown probably is what I like the most in this flower. The crown is yellow with a very bright orange border. This plant is about 40 centimeters tall. The stems bear just, at least in mine, they bear just one flower per stem. Kind of look a little bit like a poeticus, a little bit with a little bit bigger crown. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the fragrance that the poeticus is so famous about. I don't have any poeticus at the moment in flower yet, except the actia. This variety of poeticus is not fragrant at all. Well, it's very slightly fragrant, I would say, but the real poeticus is supposed to be much more fragrant. So this flower, again, is a nice flower for the garden, but not really if you are looking for fragrant daffodils. This is one of the most unusual daffodils I have instead. This is called the Golden Eco. I think the flower itself is very beautiful and very unusual. It's a bright white flower, about 5 centimeters in diameter. Bright white petals, well, not bright white actually, I would say more ivory white petals that become more yellow in the center of the flower with a bright yellow cap. The plant is about the same height of the geranium, so it's about 30 centimeters tall. The color combination is very nice. I've never seen a daffodil color like this. However, the fragrance is very subtle, and I wouldn't really know how to compare it. It's like It's almost like freshly cut grass. So it's not really very peculiar, well, very unusual or very nice fragrance. So this is definitely a narcissus I can recommend if you like bright flowers in the garden, but again, not for the fragrance. For the fragrance, instead, I would definitely recommend this one, the Pipit, and again the Golden Dawn. They are absolutely my favorite fragrance of the daffodils in bloom. So, sorry, in this period, here we have a daffodil that was supposed to be extremely fragrant. This is the Blushing Lady. The Blushing Lady is about Blushing Lady is about 35 centimeters tall. It's very pastel colored. The flowers are yellow with a lightly paler tone in the center of petals and sepals, and the crown is a very pale salmon pink. If you like pastel color, this is definitely a narcissus that I can recommend. As you can see, they are nice bunch of flowers of 3 to 4 flowers. However, this is, if you like bright flowers or strong fragrances, again, this is not a daffodil suited for you. Daffodils, this narcissus fragrance, I can't detect it at all. I've read other articles about this Blushing Lady, and they said it is a very clear, very strong fragrance, but probably like the narcissus, like daffodil fragrance breeze, there must be either different sensitivities to the smell in different people, and that's true, but also possibly different actually strength of fragrances among the flowers. Last two narcissus I will speak about is the Lieke. Lieke is a flower, is a narcissus that is famous for the fragrance. However, again, I couldn't detect any strong fragrance. The Lieke is a very rounded flower, about 4-5 centimeters in diameter. Is like an ivory white all over the flower. Even if some of the flowers have a cream cup, that is a bit more distinct from the rest of the flower. And as you can see here, aging, the flower becomes pure white. This flower is about this daffodil is about 30-35 centimeters tall. It gives a very nice bunch of white flowers, if you like white flowers, very rounded. So it is suitable for the garden. It's not a small plant, however, not a plant I would recommend for the fragrance. And well, last daffodil I have at the moment. This is a very small, well, not very small narcissus, but with narcissus with very small flowers. This is called the Baby Moon. Baby Moon, again, the flower is very small. It's about 2 centimeters wide. It's bright yellow. I like the color. I couldn't detect much fragrance really. The size of the plant is about 20-25 centimeters tall, so you can still put it in the garden, but really the flower is so small that a buttercup probably is noticeable as much as this narcissus. So I wouldn't say really is a plant I would recommend for the garden. In a pot is much nicer. However, you really need to decide. If I could give my top choices for the narcissi I presented today, definitely would say the golden dawn and the pipit for the fragrance, and the thalia for the elegance of the flower. Is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous flower. It's a pity that the fragrance is not more intense. And well, I was almost forgetting the geranium also for the fragrance. So yeah, fragrance, recommend geranium. Geranium third place, pipit second place, and first place the golden dawn. Well, and the elegance of the flower. So yeah, sorry, third place geranium, second place the pipit, and the first place the golden dawn. And well, the most elegant flower I have instead is this one, the narcissus thalia. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.